Tonight, before you close your eyes, before the world grows quiet, before your mind dissolves into dreams, I want you to speak a few lines that can shift the direction of your entire financial destiny. Not because the words are magic, but because you are, and tonight you will speak to the most powerful part of your being, the part that creates, the part that aligns, the part that brings money, opportunity, and abundance right to your doorstep. Understand this: your last thoughts before sleep become the architecture of your tomorrow. Your subconscious does not sleep. It listens, it obeys, it builds, and tonight, you're going to give it new orders. So before you drift into sleep, speak these lines with absolute conviction, not softly, not timidly, but with the authority of someone who has decided that money is no longer a distant dream. It is a daily presence. The first line is simple: I am open to receiving money from expected and unexpected places. Say it like a declaration. Say it like a promise to your future self. Tonight, you tell your mind that wealth is not a stranger. Wealth is welcome, because here's the truth most people never learn. Money doesn't flow to those who desperately chase it. Money flows to those who feel safe receiving it. You are creating that safety tonight. Now speak the second line. My mind is aligned with opportunities, ideas, and abundance. Feel that, not just as words, but as a vibration moving through your chest. When you sleep with this belief, your subconscious begins scanning your world like a radar, finding doors you never noticed, connections you never valued, solutions you never considered. And here comes the third line. Tomorrow, money will find its way to me. Not maybe, not hopefully. Not if the world is kind. No, tomorrow, money will find its way to me. When you say this, something extraordinary starts happening. Your energy shifts from scarcity to expectation, from fear to confidence, from receiving crumbs to receiving overflow. Say it again. Feel the certainty rising in your body. Feel the heaviness leaving. Feel the possibilities opening. Tonight, you are rewriting your relationship with money. For years, many of us were taught to be afraid of wanting too much. We were told money is hard, money is limited, money belongs to other people. But tonight, you break that cycle, because money is not just paper or coins. Money is a reflection of your creativity, your courage, your contribution to the world, and when your inner world shifts, your outer world must follow. So before you sleep, repeat these lines as many times as you need. I am worthy of abundance. I am ready for financial miracles. Money flows to me effortlessly. Let these become the final vibrations that echo in your mind before the night takes you. And tomorrow, you will wake up different, calmer, stronger, aligned, magnetic. Opportunities will reveal themselves. Ideas will spark effortlessly. People will show up. Doors will open. Not because the world changed overnight, but because you did. Speak these lines tonight. And watch how money surprises you tomorrow. Your new chapter begins the moment you close your eyes, and your abundance begins the moment you choose to believe. At night, when the noise of the world begins to fade and the body prepares for rest, something extraordinary happens inside the human mind. The conscious mind, the part that argues, doubts, analyzes, worries, calculates, and questions, slowly steps aside. What remains awake, alert, and receptive is the subconscious, the deep inner field where beliefs take root, where fears hide, where dreams are shaped, and where the seeds of future experiences are planted. Most people never realize that the moments just before sleep are the most powerful moments of their entire day. This is when the mind becomes magnetic, when thoughts sink deeper, when emotions leave lasting imprints, and when the universe listens more closely to the vibrations you send out. Money, abundance, confidence, and opportunity are all deeply connected to the state of your subconscious mind, And the final thoughts you feed it at night become silent instructions that determine what you attract tomorrow. During the day, your mind is busy juggling responsibilities, distractions, and constant stimulation. Your thoughts are scattered across worries, tasks, conversations, and noise. But at night, the mind softens. The defensive walls begin to fall. The inner resistance that normally blocks new beliefs weakens. This is why nighttime thoughts sink deeper than daytime thoughts. When you repeat a sentence at night, especially with emotion, intention, and clarity, does not remain on the surface. It travels inward into the deeper layers of your identity. The subconscious does not judge the words you give it. It does not question whether they are true or false. It accepts them as instructions. And these instructions quietly shape your behaviors, your expectations, your decisions, and the energy you project into the world. This is why people who sleep with thoughts of fear, lack, stress, or financial anxiety wake up tired, heavy, and mentally blocked. Their subconscious spent the entire night reinforcing the belief that money is difficult, that life is against them, that nothing works out, and that opportunities are scarce. They unknowingly program themselves for another day of struggle and scarcity. But when someone speaks thoughts of abundance and openness before sleep, the subconscious receives a different script. Instead of replaying cycles of fear, it begins preparing the mind to notice new possibilities, to feel worthy of receiving money, to act with confidence, and to recognize that the world is abundant. This mental shift is not imaginary or symbolic. It triggers real changes in the brain's filters. Inside the mind is a structure called the reticular activating system, the RIS. It acts like a gatekeeper, deciding what information the brain pays attention to and what it ignores. When you repeatedly tell yourself at night that money comes to you, that opportunities surround you, that abundance is your natural state, the RIS begins to filter your world accordingly. Suddenly, ideas that were once invisible become noticeable. Conversations you would have ignored now spark inspiration. You start remembering connections, relationships, and resources that you previously overlooked. You become more courageous in taking action. You become more magnetic in your presence. You begin attracting people who resonate with your energy. This is not coincidence. It is the subconscious aligning your inner vibration with external possibilities. Night affirmations about money are powerful because they bypass the resistance of the conscious mind. In the daytime, if you tell yourself money flows to me easily, your conscious mind might respond, no it doesn't. Look at your bills, look at your struggles. But at night, that resistance weakens. The subconscious, open, quiet, impressionable, accepts the new command. This is why so many spiritual teachers, psychologists, and success coaches emphasize nighttime programming. The moments before you sleep are the closest you get to speaking directly to your inner operating system. When you speak abundance at night, you shift more than words, you shift emotion, you shift identity, you shift expectation. Emotion is the fuel of the subconscious. When you feel abundance, gratitude, and openness, even if only for a few minutes, your vibration changes. That emotional frequency expands the magnetic field around your body. Your energy becomes receptive instead of resistant. People can feel it. Opportunities respond to it. Money reflects it. The universe mirrors it. The mind at night is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant grows. If you plant fear, you grow limitation. If you plant lack, you grow struggle. But if you plant thoughts of wealth, openness, clarity, and confidence, the subconscious begins engineering your reality to match those seeds. It influences how you speak, how you think, how you react, how you negotiate, how you show up, and how you recognize wealth around you. Many people believe money only responds to effort, but money actually responds first to identity. Effort matters, but identity determines the size of the opportunities you attract and the courage you have to take them. If you want to transform your relationship with money, you must transform your nightly conversations with yourself. When you whisper to yourself, "Money comes to me from expected and unexpected places," the subconscious begins believing it. It doesn't ask for proof. It doesn't demand evidence. It prepares you internally for that reality. When you say, "Tomorrow, money will find its way to me," the subconscious activates a mindset of expectation instead of doubt. It aligns your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions so subtly and naturally that you don't even realize the transformation happening. You become more creative, more alert, more solution-oriented, and more magnetically aligned with prosperity. Every wealthy person, every financially successful individual, consciously or unconsciously practices some form of nightly programming. They sleep with expectations of success, not fear of failure. They end the day reinforcing thoughts of power, not weakness. Their subconscious is aligned with abundance, and therefore abundance gravitates toward them. But anyone can practice this. Anyone can recondition their mind. Anyone can speak words into the night that reshape the day to come. The human mind becomes a magnet at night, and the magnet always pulls toward whatever thoughts you choose. When you understand the power of this moment, when you truly grasp that your nightly thoughts are the blueprint for your financial future, you will never again carelessly fall asleep in fear, stress, or scarcity. You will choose your final thoughts with intention. You will speak to your subconscious the way a leader speaks to a trusted advisor. You will plant thoughts that serve you, not thoughts that weaken you. You will program your mind for the wealth, abundance, and opportunities you desire, because the last thoughts you speak tonight are the first seeds your future receives. There is a power inside your voice that most people never learn to use. They speak casually, they speak carelessly, they speak as if words are light and meaningless, but words are not light, words are not harmless, words are the builders of inner reality, the signals you send into the universe, the commands you issue to your subconscious mind. When spoken with conviction, especially at night when the conscious mind grows quiet, words become magnetic forces. They become energy, vibration, and direction. They shape the way you think, the way you feel, the way you act, and ultimately the way your life unfolds. People underestimate the weight of their own voice. They don't realize that the tone in which they talk to themselves has more influence over their destiny than the opinions of 1,000 others. When you speak affirmations with real emotion, something remarkable happens inside your brain. The subconscious does not analyze your statements. It accepts them as truth. It begins rearranging your beliefs to match the words you choose. It adjusts your internal identity, and identity governs everything. Your confidence, your decisions, your financial behavior, your sense of worthiness, your ability to receive money, your courage to pursue more, and even the opportunities you notice. If you repeat statements like, "I can't make money," "I'm always struggling," or "life is unfair," the subconscious will shape your reality to fit those words. But if you declare boldly, "I am worthy of wealth," "money flows to me," or "abundance is my natural state," the subconscious begins shifting your inner world so your outer world can match those declarations. Conviction is the key. Words without energy are like seeds thrown onto concrete. They don't take root. But words spoken with belief, emotion, and intention sink deep into the soil of the subconscious. They become internal commands. They begin rewriting old mental patterns. They replace years of fear-based thinking with new possibilities. Every belief you carry today was once a sentence repeated by you or someone around you. Maybe a parent said, "Money doesn't grow on trees." Maybe you told yourself, "I'm not good with money." These statements became your inner script. But the moment you choose to speak new lines with conviction, you begin rewriting that script. You take back authority over your narrative. At night, this process becomes even more powerful. During the day, your logical mind objects to new affirmations. If you say, "I am wealthy," the conscious mind argues back, "But you're not." If you say, "Money comes easily to me," the conscious mind quickly reminds you of past struggles, but at night, the conscious mind weakens. The gatekeeper falls asleep, the resistance melts, you can speak directly to the subconscious without interruption. This is why nighttime affirmations feel different. They sink deeper, they carry more weight. They bypass the noise. You're communicating with the part of yourself that actually controls your habits, your emotions, and your outcomes. Imagine the subconscious as a fertile field. Every word you speak with conviction is a seed. If you plant seeds of abundance every night, you cannot avoid harvesting abundance later. It might not appear immediately, just like trees don't grow instantly, but the roots begin forming. Your self-image shifts first. Your confidence expands, your awareness sharpens. You begin noticing opportunities that were once invisible. You approach challenges with a solution-oriented mind instead of a fear-driven one. You step into rooms differently. You make decisions differently. You attract different experiences because you expect different outcomes. Conviction is what charges your words with power. You can whisper an affirmation softly and still change your life if the emotion behind it is strong. Your subconscious listens more to the feeling behind your words than the volume of your voice. If you speak with doubt, the subconscious feels the doubt. If you speak with certainty, it feels the certainty. The emotion becomes the instruction. That is why the people who transform their lives don't simply repeat affirmations. They embody them. They feel them as if they are already true. They live them mentally before they ever see them physically. When you speak affirmations like, "I deserve money," many people feel resistance because they have been conditioned to believe the opposite. But every time you speak a new line with conviction, you chip away at the old belief. You dissolve a layer of mental programming. You release generational fears about wealth. You detach from the belief that abundance belongs only to others. And slowly, the subconscious accepts a new identity. Once identity changes, reality must follow, because your thoughts, emotions, and actions begin moving in the same direction. Confidence is not something you wait for. It is something you speak into existence. Success is not something you stumble into. It is something you tune your mind to receive. Abundance is not something reserved for a chosen few. It is something you claim through repeated self-affirmation. When you speak words like, "I attract opportunities," your mind becomes more sensitive to opportunity. When you say, "I am financially capable," your behavior becomes more aligned with financial success. When you say, "Money flows to me," your energy becomes more receptive, and people feel the difference in your presence. Words are vibration. Thoughts are vibration. Emotion is vibration. Money is vibration. When your inner vibration rises through conviction-filled affirmations, you start aligning with the frequency of wealth. It is not magic, it is resonance. Just as two musical notes tune to each other when they vibrate at similar frequencies, your internal energy synchronizes with the external energy of abundance. Your relationship with money softens. You stop chasing. You start attracting. You stop doubting. You start believing. You stop expecting struggle. You start expecting growth. The greatest mistake people make is speaking affirmations mechanically without heart. Mechanical repetition does not create change, emotional repetition does. When you speak with conviction, you activate your creative power. You ignite the subconscious into action. You send a clear signal to the universe. You shift your future from the inside out, and every night you do this, you are training your mind to believe in a bigger version of yourself, one who is worthy, capable, abundant, and powerful. You are telling your subconscious what to build, and it will build exactly what you command. Money is not just a currency, it is a mirror. It reflects back to you the beliefs you hold about yourself, your worthiness, your potential, and your place in the world. People often believe that hard work alone determines financial success. They assume that effort is everything. They think that grinding longer, pushing harder, and sacrificing more will automatically produce wealth. But reality doesn't work like that. If effort alone could create abundance, then the hardest working people on the planet would be the wealthiest, and they are not. The individuals who break through financially are not always the ones who work the most, but the ones who believe the most. They hold an internal identity that matches the level of abundance they seek. They believe they deserve to receive. They believe they are capable of earning. They believe opportunities belong to them. And because they believe it internally, they allow it externally. Your internal identity is the silent power that shapes your financial destiny. It operates beneath the surface, often without your awareness. It determines the choices you make, what risks you take, what opportunities you accept, what relationships you pursue, and how you respond when money comes your way. You can give two people the same opportunity. One will multiply it, and the other will self-sabotage. The difference is not intelligence or effort. It is identity. One believes, I can do this, I deserve this. The other believes, this is too much for me, this isn't who I am. And so the first one rises, while the second one retreats back into the comfort of their old self-image. Identity sets the ceiling for your financial life. If deep down you believe you are someone who always struggles, you will subconsciously create situations that match that belief. If you believe money is difficult to earn, you will find yourself constantly facing financial obstacles. If you believe wealth is reserved for others, you will unknowingly push abundance away. The subconscious mind does not argue with identity, it honors it. It tries to keep your life consistent with the person you believe you are. This is why people repeat financial patterns, the same debts, the same fears, the same limitations, the same behaviors, even if they consciously want something different. The identity stays the same, so the financial reality stays the same. On the other hand, the moment a person changes their identity, everything begins to shift. They start seeing themselves as capable, valuable, deserving, and powerful. Opportunities that once intimidated them now excite them. Risks that felt dangerous now feel natural. Conversations they used to avoid become doorways to wealth. They begin surrounding themselves with people who think differently, act differently, and earn differently. They stop shrinking and they start expanding. They stop settling and they start claiming. They stop hoping for money and they start expecting it, not out of entitlement, but out of alignment. Money responds to this inner shift like metal responds to a magnet. When you silently carry the energy of someone who deserves abundance, money gravitates toward you, not in magical, unrealistic ways, but through the natural unfolding of aligned decisions, aligned behaviors, and aligned beliefs. You start acting like a person who receives money, not someone who chases it. You start handling money with confidence instead of fear. You start making choices from abundance instead of scarcity. And every choice you make from that identity reinforces your financial growth. Most people do not struggle because they lack the ability to make money. They struggle because they do not see themselves as the type of person who can hold money, manage money, multiply money, or attract money. They feel unworthy, they feel guilty, they feel small, and every time money attempts to enter their life, they push it away mentally before they push it away physically. They underestimate their skills when offered an opportunity. They cancel their ideas before they start. They stay silent when they should speak. They undercharge for their work. They convince themselves that success is meant for someone else. This is not a lack of resources. It is a lack of identity alignment. The beautiful thing is that identity is not fixed. It can evolve. It can grow. It can transform. And the most powerful way to transform your identity is through repeated self-affirmation, emotional conditioning, and nightly subconscious programming. When you tell yourself over and over, "I am worthy of money," your subconscious eventually believes it. When you repeat, "Abundance belongs to me," your self-image begins to shift. When you speak lines like, "I deserve financial success," the old identity begins to crack. You rise above generational beliefs. You break the habits you inherited from your environment. You rewrite the story you were told about money. You become someone new. Identity determines what you allow yourself to receive. Many people unknowingly reject abundance. They say they want wealth but cannot imagine themselves living it. They say they want money but feel uncomfortable when they receive more than usual. They say they want success but feel fear when opportunities show up. Their mind is still living in an old version of themselves. To receive abundance, you must first become someone who can hold abundance. You must become someone who expects good things, someone who trusts themselves. Someone who sees money as a natural part of their life, not a rare miracle. This is why personal growth always comes before financial growth. You cannot create beyond your identity. You cannot rise beyond your belief. You cannot break the income barrier you have built in your mind. Wealthy people think differently because they are different on the inside. They do not wait for permission. They see money as energy, not pressure. They believe opportunity is everywhere, not scarce. They trust their ability to create, not fear failure. Their identity matches the level of money they earn. Imagine trying to pour a gallon of water into a tiny cup. No matter how much water you pour, only a small amount can be held at a time. The rest will overflow, spill, and disappear. This is how money behaves with a small identity. It comes, but you cannot hold it. It enters your life, but you cannot maintain it. It arrives, but the subconscious finds ways to lose it. But when you expand your identity, you expand your capacity. You become someone who can hold wealth, manage wealth, and grow wealth without feeling overwhelmed. People who master their identity are unstoppable. They stop begging life to change and begin changing themselves from the inside. They stop waiting for money and start attracting it. They stop blaming circumstances and start building character. And once identity rises, money follows like a shadow, effortlessly, continuously, naturally, because your inner world finally matches the abundance you desire in your outer world. Every human being carries silent beliefs about money, beliefs they never consciously chose. Yet these beliefs determine their entire financial destiny. These beliefs come from childhood, from parents who struggled or worried, from teachers who repeated the same old fears, from relatives who believed wealth belonged only to a certain type of person, from a society that praises success but rarely teaches the mindset behind it. They come from past failures, painful moments, disappointments, risks that didn't work out, and times you tried your best but still felt like you fell short. All these experiences sink deep into the subconscious, forming invisible limits you don't see but you feel. Limits that whisper, "Stay where you are." Limits that hold you back every time you try to rise. Limits that convince you money is hard, opportunities are rare, and abundance is for others, not you. These limiting beliefs become the walls of your internal world. They shape your thoughts, your decisions, your expectations, and even your emotions. You may consciously want financial success, yet unconsciously resist it because the beliefs you absorbed years ago still sit like stones inside your mind. You may push yourself to work harder, try harder, hustle more, but if the subconscious holds a conflicting belief, such as "I'm not good enough," "money will only bring problems," "people like me don't become wealthy," or "success is dangerous," then that belief will override your effort. The subconscious always wins over the conscious. This is why people repeat the same financial patterns year after year, even though they genuinely want a different life. They are trapped inside an old mental story that no longer serves them. Most people try to change their circumstances without changing their inner programming. They try to fix the external without healing the internal. They read books, take courses, start projects, jump into opportunities. But deep inside, the old beliefs still speak louder than their desire. That inner voice, formed in childhood, shaped by society, strengthened by past failures, continues to hold power unless it is reprogrammed at the deepest level. And this reprogramming does not happen while you're busy, stressed, distracted, or lost in daily noise. It happens at night in the quiet, when the subconscious is finally listening. Nighttime affirmations are not just motivational lines. They are tools of transformation. When spoken with emotion before sleep, they begin dissolving the old beliefs that were planted in you without your consent. At night, the barrier between the conscious and subconscious mind softens, allowing new instructions to enter. This is when you have the power to override years of conditioning. This is the moment you can replace "I can't" with "I can." "I'm unworthy" with "I deserve." "Money is hard" with "money flows." The subconscious absorbs these new messages without resistance, without argument, without doubt, because at night it is open and impressionable. Think about how many limiting beliefs you inherited before you were even old enough to understand what money really was. You heard adults say, "We can't afford that." You heard relatives say, "Rich people are greedy." You heard society say, "Success is for the lucky." You experienced moments where you wanted something but were told no, not because of you, but because of money. These early messages become emotional memories stored in the subconscious. The mind forms conclusions based on these experiences. Money is scarce. Success is risky. Dreams are unrealistic. Life is difficult. These conclusions stay with you into adulthood unless you consciously rewrite them. Nighttime affirmations become the voice you never had growing up, the voice of possibility, hope, power, and self-belief. They speak directly into the places inside you where fear once lived. They challenge the old programming. They break the emotional attachments to past failures. They introduce new truths about abundance, opportunity, and self-worth. Every night you repeat empowering lines. You are teaching your subconscious a new story, and the subconscious, being loyal, begins adjusting your reality to match this new story. Limiting beliefs often operate quietly. You don't even realize they are active. You simply notice patterns in your life. You get close to success but sabotage it. You save money then lose it. You attract opportunities but hesitate. You set goals but never follow through. This is not a lack of discipline. It is a conflict of belief. The conscious wants the dream. The subconscious fears the dream. But when you speak affirmations at night, you create harmony between the two. You align desire with belief, you align action with identity, you align your financial goals with a subconscious that finally supports you instead of blocking you. As nighttime affirmations dissolve limiting beliefs, something beautiful begins to happen. The mind becomes lighter. You stop feeling like money is a battlefield. You stop feeling unworthy of financial success. You stop feeling guilty for wanting more. You stop seeing abundance as impossible. You begin carrying a sense of possibility inside you. You begin feeling capable, confident, and deserving. This internal shift is subtle at first. Maybe you feel a little more hopeful, a little less fearful. But over time, these small emotional changes become powerful. They build momentum. They begin influencing your behavior naturally. You wake up with more clarity. You think differently. You notice openings that were invisible before. You trust yourself more. You take steps you once avoided. You start believing that change is possible. The old emotional weight disappears, replaced by an inner strength that was always there but buried under fear and conditioning. Nighttime affirmations give you back control of your mind. They let you choose new beliefs deliberately instead of living out beliefs you absorbed accidentally. They give you permission to dream again, to grow again, to receive again. They allow you to rewrite the financial story of your life, not from a place of survival, but from a place of empowerment. You transform not because the world changes, but because you change the way you see the world and yourself within it. Every person carries within them a voice that whispers what they truly want. But most people silence that voice because they believe they don't deserve abundance. If there is one truth you must imprint into your mind tonight, it is this: money does not flow to the person who wishes, it flows to the person who decides. Life does not reward hesitation, it rewards clarity. And clarity begins with the words you speak to yourself. When you talk to yourself with doubt, lack, and fear, your mind closes like a fist. But when you speak with certainty, expectation, and confidence, your mind opens like a door, and opportunities you never noticed before start to reveal themselves. The language you use becomes the thermostat for your destiny, and if you keep your inner temperature set to struggle, then struggle will be all you ever experience. But the moment you raise that temperature to wealth, deserving, capable, everything begins to shift. You must understand that money is not just physical currency. It is an energy attracted by certainty and purpose. People who believe they are worthy move differently. They walk with a quiet conviction, they speak with firmness, and they make decisions with boldness. When you shift your inner dialogue from "I hope things get better" to "I expect results because I'm building them," the world responds. Money gravitates toward direction, not confusion. It flows toward people who know who they are and what they're aiming for. If you've been living in survival mode for too long, your mind has grown accustomed to scarcity, so accustomed that abundance feels unrealistic. But tonight, I want you to challenge that programming. You are not living someone else's story. You are writing your own. And the words you choose tonight will be the ink that shapes your next chapter. Think about how often you tell yourself, "I can't afford this, maybe later. What if I fail?" Those statements are not harmless, they are instructions. Your mind listens, your energy shrinks, and your decisions follow those commands. Instead, imagine how different your life would feel if you started telling yourself, "I am preparing for abundance. Money is finding its way to me. Every day I'm becoming the kind of person who attracts success." These are not fantasies, they are rewiring techniques. They shift your emotional state from fear to readiness, from waiting to acting. When you feel aligned with abundance, you stop hiding your ideas, you start building, You stop shrinking, you start asking. You stop doubting, you start moving. Most people speak defeat into their lives because they've been conditioned to expect disappointment. They've heard no too many times, lost too many chances, failed too many attempts. But what they don't realize is that every failure wasn't punishment, it was preparation. Every setback didn't come to break them, it came to sharpen them. The world does not deny you money because you're unworthy. It denies you money because you're not yet aligned with the version of you who can handle it. The moment you step into that alignment, through your words, thoughts, and actions, doors that were once locked will swing open as if they were waiting for you all along. Speak as if you already see the path forming beneath your feet, and you'll be amazed at how quickly it appears. You need to internalize one powerful truth. Your voice is your first tool of creation. Before you build a business, you build belief. Before you create wealth, you create worthiness. Before the money comes into your bank account, it must grow in your mindset. When you speak with authority, you activate a deeper part of yourself. The part that refuses to settle, the part that remembers your potential, the part that knows you were made for more than bills, stress, and limitations. Tonight, you're not just repeating lines, you're declaring identity. You're telling the universe, I'm ready. And readiness is magnetic. When you become ready, the opportunities become visible. When you become ready, the right people appear. When you become ready, ideas become actionable. Every wealthy person you admire began with a decision. Not money, not connections, not luck. A decision. A decision that said, this is who I am now. And they backed that decision with words that aligned their mind and emotions with their future. They spoke power long before others believed in them. They spoke possibility long before they had proof. They spoke abundance long before money arrived. You don't wait for wealth to talk like a wealthy person. You talk like a wealthy person so that wealth recognizes you. This is not arrogance, this is alignment. This is not pretending, this is preparing. If you are waiting for external validation before you change your inner language, you will wait forever. I want you to understand, your financial future does not start with a job, a business, or an investment. It starts with the voice inside your mind. If that voice is weak, fearful, and negative, no opportunity will feel reachable. Even if a miracle stands right in front of you, you'll talk yourself out of it. But if that inner voice becomes strong, bold, and expectant, you will take actions others avoid. You will make moves others fear. You will see possibilities others ignore. Tonight, your mission is to train that voice to speak in the direction you want your life to grow. Replace hesitation with courage. Replace doubt with discipline. Replace fear with faith. Speak to yourself as someone who is building wealth, not surviving life. Money responds to confidence, not desperation. If you speak like you're begging for a rescue, you'll attract situations where you always need rescue. But when you speak like a leader of your own destiny, you attract circumstances that reinforce your power. Talk like someone who has already decided to rise. Talk like someone who knows they are becoming financially strong. Talk like someone who refuses to go back to the version of themselves who accepted less than they deserved. Speak like the future you is calling you forward, because it is. And every time you choose empowering words, you take one more step toward that future. Your words tonight are not just sounds, they are seeds. And seeds don't grow tomorrow. They grow every day after you plant them. Keep speaking abundance until your mind believes it. Keep believing it until your actions reflect it. Keep acting until your reality catches up. That is how transformation happens, and it begins now. With the words you choose to release into your life, there comes a moment in every person's life when they must decide whether they are going to keep repeating the same patterns or break through and create a new reality. Most people wake up every day with the same routine, the same beliefs, the same fears, the same limitations, and somehow expect their life to change, but nothing shifts until you shift. Nothing rises until you rise. If you want money to come into your life in a new way, you must become a new version of yourself. And tonight is the moment where that transformation begins, not with dramatic action, not with overnight miracles, but with the quiet, powerful decision to speak differently about yourself and your possibilities. Because the words you speak in private determine the life you live in public. You cannot talk to yourself like a defeated person and expect to rise like a winner. You cannot speak lack and expect abundance. You cannot speak fear and expect progress. The universe is not confused. It responds to your vibration, your conviction, your intention. So many people sabotage their future without realizing it. They say things like, "I'm not lucky, nothing works for me, money is hard to earn. Success is for others." And then they wonder why they feel stuck. They do not understand that those words are not harmless. They are laws they are enforcing upon their own life. You are the architect of your reality, and your words are the tools. When you speak limitation, you build walls. When you speak possibility, you build doors. When you speak hope, you build bridges. When you speak determination, you build ladders. And when you speak abundance, you build the path that money will use to find you. Every sentence you say becomes a command to your subconscious mind, shaping your emotions, driving your actions, and guiding your decisions. If you want bigger opportunities, you must speak like someone who deserves them. Imagine letting go of all the self-criticism you have carried for years. Imagine releasing the guilt, the doubt, the fear, the shame. Imagine replacing all those heavy thoughts with words that lift, words that ignite, words that empower. I am capable. I am ready. Money is not my enemy, it is my tool. Good things are coming my way. I am becoming stronger every day. These are not just affirmations. They are declarations of identity. They change how you walk, how you stand, how you breathe, how you move through life. When you speak to yourself like someone who is becoming financially free, you start noticing opportunities you ignored before. You start believing in ideas that once felt impossible. You start taking actions that your old self would be too afraid to take. The transformation does not happen in one night, but it does begin with one night. One choice, one sentence, and tonight can be that night for you. Many people struggle with money not because of their circumstances, but because of how they see themselves. They have trained their minds to expect struggle. Their identity is tied to survival, not abundance, but identity can be rewritten. You rewrite it with the words you choose. When you consistently speak as if wealth is a natural part of your life, your subconscious begins to accept that identity. And once your subconscious believes something, it works tirelessly to make it real. It nudges you toward opportunities. It pushes you to take action. It strengthens your confidence. It guides your focus. It turns obstacles into lessons and setbacks into redirections. Speaking abundance is not pretending. It is programming your mind to support the future you desire. Tonight is your opportunity to separate yourself from the old version of you. The version that doubted, feared, hesitated, apologized for wanting more. That version served its purpose. It protected you when you were uncertain. It helped you survive difficult moments. But now, you are stepping into a new chapter where survival is not enough. You are ready to grow, to rise, to expand. And the first step is to stop speaking like the old you. Replace "I hope" with "I expect." Replace "I wish" with "I choose." Replace "one day" with "today I begin." Replace "if I succeed" with "when I succeed." This is how you shift your internal world, and your external world will always follow. There is tremendous power in speaking your desires out loud. When you speak them, you give them breath, you give them direction, you give them life. Thoughts remain passive, but spoken words become active. They create energy, and energy moves. When you say, "Money is coming to me," You shift your emotional frequency, you feel lighter, you feel more open, you feel ready, and that readiness is what pulls opportunities toward you. When you say, I deserve success, your posture changes, your decisions sharpen, your confidence grows. You move differently because you believe differently, and life responds to that difference. Think of every successful person you admire. They didn't rise because they were lucky. They rose because they built an identity that supported their goals, and that identity was built through repetition. They spoke their dreams into their daily life. They spoke their goals into their habits. They spoke their discipline into their actions. They spoke their success into existence long before success arrived. You must do the same. The words you speak tonight are not just for tonight. They are the blueprint for your future. If you speak fear, you build a fearful future. If you speak power, you build a powerful future. If you speak abundance, wealth begins to move in your direction. You do not need to see the entire path. You only need to speak the first step. And the first step is believing. Believing in your worth, believing in your abilities, believing that you are allowed to rewrite your story. You are not trapped by your past. You are not defined by your mistakes. You are not limited by what you lack. Your life can change faster than you think, but the change begins within you. It begins with the voice you use when you talk to yourself in the quiet moments when no one is watching. That voice is shaping your destiny more than any external factor in your life. Tonight, as you speak words of abundance, you are sending a message to your future. I am coming, I am rising, I am ready. And the moment you make that declaration with conviction, everything around you begins to rearrange. People appear, ideas form, paths open, money moves. The universe responds to the one who is no longer waiting to be chosen, but has chosen themselves. Every dream you carry inside you is already possible, but it is waiting for one thing, your permission. Money is not waiting for the perfect timing, the perfect plan, or the perfect opportunity. It is waiting for you to decide that you are worthy of receiving it. The truth most people never understand is that abundance does not show up after success. It shows up after alignment. You must align your thoughts, your words, and your emotions with the life you want to create. And this alignment begins with the story you tell yourself every single day. If you tell yourself a story of struggle, you will continue to attract situations that reinforce struggle. If you tell yourself a story of abundance, life will begin to show you paths you never realized were available. Imagine for a moment that money is like a river, constantly flowing, always moving, never stopping. Most people stand far from the river, watching others fill their buckets, thinking, why can't I have that? They believe the river only flows for the lucky, the privileged, the talented. But the truth is, the river flows for everyone. The difference is that some people step closer, some people bring a bucket, and some people bring a pipeline. What determines which one you bring is the story you speak into your own mind. If you say, I'll never have enough, you bring a tiny cup. If you say, money always finds a way to me, you bring a container. If you say, I am building a life of abundance, you bring a pipeline that connects you directly to the flow. Your words determine your capacity, and your capacity determines the amount of abundance you can hold. So many people limit themselves without ever realizing it. They speak about money with fear, with resentment, with hesitation. They say things like, money is hard, I can't save, I'll always be struggling, life is unfair, I'm not meant to be rich. Every one of those sentences closes another door. Every one of those beliefs builds another wall. Every one of those words shrinks the space where abundance could have entered. But tonight, I want you to reverse that. I want you to speak in a way that expands your world, not restricts it. When you say, I am open to wealth, your heart expands. When you say, Money comes to me through expected and unexpected ways. Your mind expands. When you say, I am creating a life of prosperity, your vision expands. Expansion is the birthplace of abundance, and your words are the key. There is a powerful shift that happens when you start speaking your desires out loud with confidence. It tells your subconscious mind that this is not a fantasy, it is a plan. And once your subconscious accepts something as a plan, it begins to work with you instead of against you. You start making choices that move you toward your goals. You start paying attention to new ideas. You start noticing opportunities that were invisible before. You start saying yes to possibilities and no to distractions. This is the inner transformation that precedes the outer transformation. Most people think change happens from the outside in, but the truth is that real change always happens from the inside out. You become wealthy internally long before you become wealthy externally. Picture the version of you who has already achieved financial peace, who wakes up without stress, who handles responsibilities with ease, who makes decisions from strength instead of fear. That version of you speaks differently. They don't say, I hope it works. They say, I will make it work. They don't say, I'm scared. They say, I'm capable. They don't say, I wonder if money will come. They say, money is coming because I'm aligned with receiving it. When you speak like the future version of yourself, you begin to merge with that version. Your energy rises, your confidence grows, your mindset strengthens, and slowly you transform into the person who naturally attracts wealth. One of the biggest lies people believe is that they need proof before they can believe. But belief is the seed, not the fruit. You don't wait for the tree to grow before planting the seed. You plant the seed because you trust what it will become. That is exactly how your words work. When you speak abundance, you are planting seeds. They may not grow instantly, but they will grow eventually, and the more consistently you speak them, the deeper their roots become. Tonight, as you speak new words into your life, you are planting the seeds of your future. Seeds of confidence, seeds of discipline, seeds of opportunity, seeds of prosperity. Plant enough seeds, nurture them with belief and action, and your life becomes a garden of abundance. But you must be consistent. Saying powerful words once is not enough. You must speak in alignment every day. You must override years of negative programming with new, empowered language. You must replace old beliefs with new commands. Every time you catch yourself speaking lack, stop and replace it with a statement of abundance. Every time you catch yourself speaking fear, stop and replace it with a statement of courage. Every time you catch yourself speaking limitation, stop and replace it with a statement of possibility. This is how you retrain your mind. This is how you rewire your emotions. This is how you realign your life. Money flows to the person who is emotionally and mentally prepared to receive it. If you speak like someone waiting for permission, you will wait forever. But if you speak like someone who has chosen abundance, life will begin to deliver. You must walk into your future with the energy of someone who already belongs there. Do not speak as a victim of circumstances. Speak as the creator of possibilities. Do not speak from fear. Speak from faith. Do not speak from doubt. Speak from expectation. The energy you put into your words becomes the foundation of your reality. Tonight, you are being invited to step into a new season. A season where you speak powerfully, a season where you speak courageously, a season where you speak abundance into every corner of your life. You are not speaking to impress anyone. You are speaking to instruct your mind, elevate your energy, and unlock your potential. Every word you release tonight is shaping the wealth that is heading toward you. Speak with clarity. Speak with confidence. Speak with courage. You are opening the door to the abundance that has been waiting for you all along. There is a silent force inside you that has been waiting for permission to rise. Most people never tap into it because they are too busy repeating their fears instead of declaring their power. They talk about what they lack instead of what they want. They speak more about their problems than their possibilities, and without realizing it, they shape their future through the sentences they repeat. Tonight, you will understand something that has the power to change your financial life forever. Your words do not describe your world. Your words create your world. If you keep speaking like someone who is trapped, your mind will build a prison. But if you speak like someone who is growing, your mind will build a path. And the moment you begin speaking abundance, clarity, and confidence into your life, you awaken the part of you that knows you were born to rise. Money responds to identity. Not effort alone, not hard work alone, not luck, not talent. Identity. If you see yourself as someone who always struggles, money will treat you like someone who always struggles. If you see yourself as someone who deserves more, opportunities will appear to match that belief. And if you speak like someone stepping into a wealthier version of themselves, life begins to reorganize around that identity. Most people misunderstand this. They think success requires them to hustle endlessly, sacrifice everything, and suffer until something magical happens. But the truth is simpler. Success begins when you start speaking from a place of power instead of pain. When you speak like a creator instead of a survivor. When you speak like someone who expects abundance instead of doubting it. Your words are instructions to your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind is responsible for 95% of your daily decisions. It chooses what you notice, what you ignore, what you believe, and what you pursue. So imagine what happens when you keep telling yourself, I'm stuck, I'm unlucky, I don't have enough, life is hard, I'll never get ahead. Your subconscious begins to filter your world through those statements. It stops letting you see opportunities because it assumes you can't handle them. It pushes you toward things that reinforce your old identity. It keeps you comfortable, but it also keeps you small. But when you say, I am stepping into abundance, money flows to me through new channels. Good things are aligning for me. I'm ready for more. Your subconscious begins to shift. It starts working with you instead of against you. It pushes you toward better outcomes, better decisions, better energy. This is how powerful your words are. They do not just change how you feel. They change how your entire inner world operates. There is a version of you that is financially strong, disciplined, confident, and creative. That version of you already exists in your potential, but it becomes real only when you start speaking like that person. The future you is listening every time you talk. When you say, I can't, the future you steps back. When you say, I'm trying, the future you hesitates. But when you say, I'm becoming the person who attracts wealth, the future you steps forward. You don't become successful and then start speaking powerfully. You speak powerfully, and that is what makes you successful. Your words become the bridge between who you are and who you want to be. Most people never build that bridge because they fear sounding unrealistic. They fear being judged, they fear disappointment, but let me tell you something important. The people who mock your confidence are the ones too afraid to believe in their own potential. The ones who tell you to be realistic are the ones who settled too early. The ones who doubt your dreams are the ones who abandoned theirs. Never lower your words to match someone else's fear. Speak in a way that matches your destiny, not your insecurities. Speak in a way that reflects where you're going, not where you've been. Your voice carries power not because of how loud it is, but because of the intention behind it. When you speak from your struggle, you reinforce your struggle, but when you speak from your future, you activate your future. Tonight is the night to speak from a place of possibility, strength, and conviction. Say, I deserve abundance. Say, I am expanding financially. Say, money is aligning with me in new and unexpected ways. Say, opportunities are opening for me right now. Say, I am rising. These statements are not empty. They are energetic commands. They raise your vibration, lift your confidence, and ignite your inner drive. When you speak them with emotion, you activate a force within you that is unstoppable. Do not underestimate how quickly life can change once your language changes. People think transformation takes years, but in reality, the inner transformation happens in moments. One decision, one sentence, one realization. When you begin speaking like someone who is ready for more, you start acting like someone who is ready for more. You make better choices. You welcome new challenges. You stop settling. You stop procrastinating. You stop dimming yourself. Your energy shifts, and the world responds to that shift. Money starts moving toward you because you are moving toward the life where money belongs. Many people ask, when will my breakthrough come? But breakthroughs do not arrive randomly. They arrive when your inner story becomes too powerful to keep you where you are. If you keep telling yourself the same old story, you will keep living the same old life. But if you begin speaking a new story, one of abundance, confidence, intelligence, discipline, and possibility, you begin writing a new path. Your life expands to match the story you speak. This is not magic. This is psychology, energy, and identity combined. Tonight, as you speak abundance into your life, understand that you are doing something sacred. You are unlocking a new level of yourself. You are stepping into alignment with the wealth, peace, and freedom you truly desire. Money is not just about numbers. It's about identity. Become the person who attracts it. Speak like the person who is aligned with it. Think like the person who deserves it, and the abundance you seek will begin seeking you. There is a moment in every person's journey when they realize that money does not simply respond to effort. It responds to energy. It responds to the force behind your words, the intention behind your thoughts, and the identity behind your actions. Some people work endlessly, grinding day and night, yet their financial life never changes. Others move with clarity, with belief, with aligned action, and opportunities seem to appear out of thin air. The difference is not luck, it is alignment, and alignment begins with the words you speak to yourself when no one else is listening, because your private voice becomes your public reality. If you speak weakness, you attract struggle. If you speak fear, you attract hesitation. But if you speak confidence, clarity, and abundance, your life begins to shift in a direction you once thought was impossible. When you speak powerful words at night, something extraordinary happens. You plant new commands into your subconscious mind. Your subconscious does not evaluate, does not judge, does not argue. It accepts whatever you repeatedly tell it. If you say, I am always broke, your subconscious believes it and shapes your decisions accordingly. If you say, money is difficult, your subconscious agrees and pushes you toward choices that reinforce difficulty. But if you say, I am aligned with abundance, your subconscious begins to open doors within you. It expands your creativity. It amplifies your intuition. It sharpens your awareness. It guides you toward opportunities you would normally overlook. You do not attract money with desperation. You attract it with direction. And your words are the steering wheel. Most people live in emotional debt because they speak in emotional negativity. They speak from scarcity, from fear, from insecurity. They let their environment dictate their language, not realizing their language is what shapes their environment. You must reverse this. You must be bold enough to speak abundance even if your current circumstances do not reflect it yet. Because your circumstances are not permanent. They are a reflection of your past thoughts and past words. And tonight, you have the chance to alter your future by altering your language. Speak as if your future is already unfolding. Speak as if the opportunities you seek are already moving in your direction. Speak as if money is already responding to your energy, because it will. There is a version of you that does not second, guess every decision, that does not fear bills, that does not panic at unexpected expenses. That version of you is calm, grounded, financially confident, and emotionally strong. That version of you speaks differently. They do not say, "I can't afford that." They say, "How can I afford that?" They do not say, "Money never stays with me." They say, "My wealth grows in expected and unexpected ways." They do not say, "This is too hard." They say, "I can learn, I can grow, and I can handle more than I think." Every wealthy, empowered, successful version of you begins with the words that version would speak. You step into your highest identity through your voice. When you declare abundance with conviction, you activate your internal power. You awaken the part of you that refuses to settle, the part of you that was built for more. You ignite a fire that money is drawn to, because money follows value, and value is created by someone who believes in themselves. If you see yourself as weak or incapable, you won't make decisions that build value. If you see yourself as powerful and deserving, you will move boldly, act intelligently, and create opportunities. Your voice determines which version of you takes control. And let me tell you something important. You do not have to feel powerful to speak powerfully. The words come first, the feeling comes later. You do not wait until you're confident to speak like someone who is confident. You speak it until it becomes true. You speak it until your energy rises. You speak it until your internal reality shifts. You speak it until your subconscious accepts it as your new identity. This is how reprogramming begins, not with evidence, but with expression. The words you repeat tonight will be the beliefs your mind protects tomorrow. When you speak strong words at night, your mind marinates in them while you sleep. Your subconscious begins rewiring neural pathways, strengthening new beliefs, weakening old fears. This is why nighttime declarations are so powerful. They bypass the noise, the doubt, and the conscious resistance. They slip into the deeper layers of your mind where your patterns live, and once a pattern changes, your entire life changes. If you consistently speak abundance every night, you will feel something shift inside you. You will wake up with more clarity, more focus, more confidence. You will notice signs, synchronicities, opportunities that match your new energy. You will attract people who support your growth instead of draining your strength. You will come across ideas you never considered. You will make choices that elevate your financial life instead of sabotaging it. This is not coincidence. This is alignment, and alignment is created through intention. And intention is expressed through words. Your future is shaped by what you repeatedly speak. If you speak scarcity, you strengthen scarcity. If you speak abundance, you strengthen abundance. It is that simple, that direct, that profound. The world responds to the energy you command with your voice. You don't manifest by hoping. You manifest by declaring. You don't grow by wishing. You grow by deciding. You don't rise by waiting. You rise by speaking life into your future. Tonight, speak boldly. Speak like someone who is done settling. Speak like someone ready for overflow. Speak like someone who knows money is not running away from them. Money is running toward them. Say, wealth is entering my life right now. Say, I am attracting opportunities aligned with my purpose. Say, my financial future is expanding beautifully. Say, I am becoming the person who can handle more blessings. These are not just sentences, these are seeds. And seeds do not question where they are planted. They grow because growth is their nature. Plant these seeds tonight, water them with belief, and soon You will see the harvest of your new words reflected in your new life. There comes a defining moment in life when you realize that waiting, hoping, and wishing will never bring you the wealth, freedom, and abundance you desire. Most people live in a state of passive expectation. They wait for opportunities, wait for luck, wait for someone to validate their worth, wait for money to appear as if it owes them something. But life does not work on waiting. Life responds to action, conviction, and alignment. And alignment begins within you. It begins with the words you speak, the thoughts you hold, the energy you radiate. If you want money, if you want opportunity, if you want a life that feels bigger than your current circumstances, it starts here and now with your identity. The person you are internally determines the financial reality you experience externally. Money does not respond to wishful thinking or blind effort. It responds to identity. It responds to the level of self-worth, the clarity of vision, and the strength of belief you carry within. You can work tirelessly, grind endlessly, push and sacrifice, but if your inner identity does not match the level of abundance you seek, nothing will change. The universe is not punishing you. It is reflecting you. It mirrors back the energy you give, the beliefs you hold, and the narrative you repeat in your mind and in your speech. Your financial ceiling is the ceiling of your self-perception, and your ability to rise depends entirely on expanding that perception. Many people think they need external proof before they can feel deserving. They believe they need to earn respect, accumulate credentials, or reach a milestone to allow themselves to think bigger, speak louder, or act boldly. But the truth is the reverse. You must first adopt the identity, then the world adjusts. You must first claim the version of yourself who is ready to receive, who is capable, who is deserving.